This is
the Best Friends Ask Why podcast
with Aaron
and Dylan. It's so tight! Hey guys, this is episode 4 of the Best Friends Ask Why podcast with Dylan Cabral and
Aaron Newman.
And our guests today are Kevin Meyer and Kaycee Espe. You guys can say hi.
Hello.
Hi.
So I brought you on because it's an excuse for us to hang out while you're in town. Try and keep that as close to you as possible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There you go. Get into it.
We want it on your lips.
Get in there.
On or around your mouth.
That sounds good. I like that. I can do it.
So me and you have been very good friends since probably my first 2 years at Boeing, I would say.
Definitely. Like, well, we both got hired.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it was probably like even earlier than that. So I hired on at Boeing, and then I got moved, or I was on first shift, still training for like a long time. And then Kevin, for some reason, I think you're getting trained in a different bar.
Yes, I brought on the first shift again for that.
Yeah, we both work inside the wings at Boeing, and then you got moved in, and you started, like, you were kind of like one of the only dudes I was like, I'll try and talk to this guy, and you actually talked back to me, and I was like, oh, this is cool.
We're friends now.
Yeah,
friends.
I feel like everyone thought I was really weird when I first started at Boeing, just because
You were trying to make friends with everybody?
Well, I'm quiet. I'm not quiet because I talk into this for so long, but in general, like when I first meet people, I'm a kind of a quiet person, I guess.
Same thing.
What?
Like, especially a new job, you know.
And maybe it was just this timeline and not all the time, but it was just this timeline.
Yeah, I'm trying to feel everyone out because it's new
it's
place and everyone's
professional
like,
area.
Old crusty bastards like, I don't like young people. Like, okay, man. Like,
yeah, so he's just like kind of a buddy. He was remotely my age, and then when he used to complain, like when we first started hanging out, and he's like, God damn it, I just got over having young friends, because Pancakes is like, what, a year older than me, I think?
Yeah, probably.
Or maybe 2 years older than me. I couldn't drink yet, and so we would go to like Buffalo Wild Wings or whatever, and he'd just be like, here, drink this beer in the car, because you can't have anything once we go inside.
Get you a kids menu. Like, all right, it's cheaper this way.
And then you are his lovely future wife, who I just message memes to all the fucking time, just because you
That's how people socialize.
That's friendships in the 21st century.
Memes. Or GIFs.
Yeah.
Memes and GIFs.
You're a big fan of comedy, like both of us. I mean, I am. Aaron is.
I'm
partially.
not as big of a fan of like broad spectrum comedy. Like,
Yeah.
you like comedy for the sake of comedy.
Like laughing.
Yeah,
Laughing's good. It's
Yeah.
fun.
It has to be like a certain.
Oh, Smiley's my favorite.
It has to hit me right for me to like it. Like, I can't just watch any comedian just to be like, oh, I like what they did there. And like, I could see you building an outline of what they're doing and how they delivered shit when you watch it. And that's not me.
I'm like weirdly specific about all things that I like,
Yeah.
though. I want to like know everything about weird shit.
I'm very surface level for most of that. I'm like, I don't give a shit. If it makes me laugh, I'm good with it.
Yeah, well, I don't know when did you get into comedy? I guess this is a weird road to go down because I have a shape of what I want to talk to Kevin about. But like it's funny because like I feel reasonably close to you, and like when Kevin was coming home, instead of messaging him on Facebook, I messaged you first
because the women control everything.
That's true. She is like your agent, you were saying.
No, he can't come.
Yeah. I decided, hey, I need a secretary. I can't deal with this anymore. That's the only reason she's around. I just can't manage
That's why
life.
people get married nowadays.
Yeah. Well, he's in the army. He had to like get married once before he got out.
At least once.
You guys actually fucked up because you're getting married right after you get out.
Well,
so then
your marriage might actually make it.
Yeah, it'll be real.
Well, Dylan knows. I mean, she's kind of her, but I already had a really shitty like experience, like relationship wise, because I was dating a gal for a while. Then I joined the army, and she turned out to be a huge piece of shit. So, so I kind of like got it, but wasn't married. So
She was like a hidden piece of shit for a long time. Like I didn't realize that she was.
She was like prairie dogging.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
She's that sneaky doo-doo, dude. She was a shark.
You don't notice it until you feel something squishy. You're like, oh, fuck! I got payday on my hands.
Oh my lord.
Oh my.
But we've become like reasonably good friends just through sending each other funny shit on Instagram. Like I talk to you once a week, and you're like one of my best friends on the fucking planet. I talk to her like 4 to 7 days a week, just because memes.
Like, oh, this is funny.
We've actually had multiple long form conversations about how much we love you too.
Yeah.
Aww.
That happens a lot.
That is sweet. Well, Dylan's really good about hyping me up. He's my hype man.
Oh yeah, he's everybody's fucking.
That's true.
hype
He's like, yo, have you met my friend XYZ? Like, these guys are fucking awesome. Hype.
It's kind of funny, I think, as I've listened back to the podcast that we do, I'm already like, so with Joe Rogan does a podcast. He has like thousands of episodes,
Right.
But people on his comments stream like, and they it's very streamlined, them being like, he says this a lot, he says this thing a lot, and I've found already in like 4 episodes that all I say
1.
a lot is that I just like, people are sick, and then I just like want to hype everyone up.
You're like the Flava Flav of humanity.
I think people are fucking cool, man, and I just want them to know it. Like a lot of people just don't feel that about themselves.
Well, especially in Washington, everyone's like, "Meh."
It's winter. I'm sad.
Yeah,
That's true. It's pretty depressed around here a lot of times. So
Yeah, but we've gotten to like intimate conversations about how big your dick is. And sorry, Mama Meyer. I had to put it out there at least once.
that is true. Like we were sitting at lunch at Boeing, and Dylan like, eating a sandwich, looks over, someone like, he's got a hammer. You know, right? Like,
well, it started, so me and Kevin developed, like, we had a good friendship to begin with, but I think
then you guys saw each other naked.
Well, no, then he would hate me because I have a baby dick. It's like sucks inside me. It's like so small.
I love you for who you are.
Like if it goes to like 87 from 94, it's already shooting out the other side. Yeah.
Oh wow.
But no, we started kickboxing. He was. He was like the only person that I could. So when you start martial arts, you kind of want to pull everyone.
Oh yeah,
into
you want a
cult.
friend, at least one, fucking one.
You're like, come with me,
And
and so
kick the shit out of you.
pretty much.
Well, it's more so like I don't want to go to this gym by myself because I don't fucking know anybody, and those guys are all tight, and I'm the outside.
Yeah, martial arts can be fairly cliquey because it's like there's such a high cost for building friendships there because it involves lots
beating
of
the fuck out
head
of each
trauma and getting choked out and stuff. Like there has to be a certain timeline of you getting beat up a little bit for
It
people
has to be like
2-3
months.
Yeah,
And then you're like, oh, you're friends now.
I didn't feel that way at Team Mean. I didn't feel that way at Team Mean. I felt like I got in pretty like quick.
Yeah.
The
Like
only thing I
Jeremy
don't
was
like
such a
about
nice guy.
Team Mean is the whole Gracie Barra card shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm not down with that.
Yeah.
I don't like the report card shit.
I understand that, but I feel like that's a pretty standard thing, and I mean, and with trying to, he's like Jeremy's trying to fall, trying to follow an affiliation that's like a brandable thing for him to have that. So it's important for him to follow at least some of the regulations so that he can
maintain the affiliation.
It's on his banner. It's a thing that people. Gracie Baja is known around the world, so people see that and they go, oh, okay. If people don't know what we're talking about, Gracie Baja is like a school of jiu-jitsu. It's like a certain family and a stem of them, and they have their own school. And so an affiliate program, you have that gym attached to your gym, so that
like a Subway.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like a franchise. I feel like
not most, but many people know the name at least.
Gracie.
Gracie.
It's just such a big, famous name, and again, it's like so many people,
Well, they've been doing work since the 90s.
I thought that, but there's so many people who don't even know what the UFC is still.
Yeah.
Like,
there's
just
so many people who
immersed
think
in
UFC is MMA.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I train UFC.
What? Do you train UFC?
I don't know what you're talking about, guys.
Dude, have you ever UFC'd?
Like,
is that a
pay-per-view? What are we talking about here,
tract
man?
infection? Is that?
Yeah, that sounds awful, bro. I don't want to try that at all.
I don't want to do that.
Okay, so we're gonna walk it back. I was searching for people to join martial arts with me, and then you were like, "Yeah, I'll try it." And then you came, and we started waking up every morning. We'd get coffee together.
I'd wake
morning.
you up every morning.
That's true.
With coffee.
We started.
I love you.
One person woke up. Another
Kiss on the
person
cheek,
was.
cup of coffee.
Oh, dude, I was.
Good morning, sweetheart.
I am such the shittiest morning person ever. He would like have coffee in hand wake me up with coffee in hand, like, Dylan, come on. He would go to the bathroom while I opened my eyes, and then we would get to the gym, and like right when we get to the gym is when you're supposed to jump rope.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I got to shit. So I'd go.
I gotta skip this warm up.
I'd go hit the bathroom, and then I'd be like, oh, okay, now we can, and then drilling and sparring. I was like, this is my game. So I'll just do this. And
I'll
then
just take a shit for the first 5 minutes of class.
It's your warm up.
Yeah, but it was like, in the mornings, there wasn't that many people.
No, which was nice. I like going to any kind of gym where whatever
There's
hour has
hardly
the
anyone
least
there.
amount of people, that is my time to go.
Yeah.
So then I can get what I need in.
Yeah.
And
And
make
not
sure-
be waiting on a machine or waiting on a bag or
whatever.
mat
Exactly.
space.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I understand.
definitely nice.
Yeah, that was nice. And so it would always end up a lot of the time was like me and Kevin were training together. So we would train, and then coach inevitably would be like, all right, guys, class is over, but if you want to spar, you can spar. And then me and Kevin would be like, yeah. And then we're going to spar. And then like there's literal times where Jeremy would be like, all right, guys, spar light. And then he'd like be like, Kevin, Dylan, kind of.
just no blood today.
no concussions.
I don't want to mop the mats right away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but we became really good friends through that. There's a certain level of friendship that you can build by sweating in each other's mouths,
Love me.
Just wringing out my shirt in his mouth.
I mean, it's true. Like, there's certain relationships you build. Like, I think martial arts is one of those ones that just like it's intimate in a sense. Because I mean, you're again like trying to take each other's heads off, but at the same time, like,
Well, there's a certain
hey man, let's go get lunch after this.
Yeah, well, there's a certain thing where you're testing another man's will, like, constantly. And so, like, in a lot of friendships, you don't have a lot of those tests. Like, some friendships, you can just be friends. Like, me and Kaycee could just send memes to each other, and that's, like, a good relationship. But me and you have, like, hurt each other.
Yeah.
Like, caused each other pain, put each other in bad scenarios. Like, there's these mountains that we've had to climb in the form of martial arts, mostly, not in other ways. It's not like we're screaming match at each other ever, but yeah, fuck you. But
Well, it's the same in the army too. Like, there's dudes that I haven't talked to in like a year, but I know if I were to show up at their door and be like, "Hey, man, I need a place to crash," like, it'd just be no questions asked.
Definitely. Like, and I know those relationships are gonna last. Like, between Dylan and my friend Dustin, and then I guess Pancakes, like those three dudes, I know no matter what, I can pick up from right where we left off, and things are good.
well, there's a certain thing when you build. It's like when you forge a friendship in fire, you don't have to like. There's serious embers there.
There's
and it's
very
not like,
few things that'll fucking break.
Yeah,
it
it's
up.
like you don't have to constantly. It's not like you're
not
putting
trying. It's
shitty
just
wood on
there.
top of it, trying to foster it constantly. We could not talk for months at a time, but when we pick up, it's exactly where it was.
Oh, definitely.
And
Yeah.
there's no question in any relationship whatsoever. Like,
you're not my friend anymore.
I didn't see him as much. I didn't see
Not
him
the
as much as I
table.
should have while he's home. But I think he still still realizes that he means a load to me. Like, and it's not like. It's not for satisfaction. He means a couple loads.
Oh, a couple.
Actually, and I had to work for him because I got a double fist, his long dick.
You got to get that
The
weird twisty motion with both hands.
Calm down, Aaron. We have Christians that listen to this podcast.
Yikes!
Yeah.
Jesus jacked off.
What would Jesus do? He would double fist Kevin's dick.
He'd use the grapefruit method. Have you seen that shit?
The like jaguar noise. Oh my lord. So this is not the episode for us to gain viewers based off interest.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah. Okay, so basically
People are gonna be like, "What's the grapefruit method?"
YouTube that shit, dude. We'll put a link in our bio. No, I'm kidding. So
It burns calories.
I have a message that so we've developed like where the friendship setting has come from, but I have like a kind of a stream that I want to go down on this podcast, and this podcast tends to lean more serious than it is funny, and I always will cut a dick joke like here and there.
Of course.
Just
We're
to,
serious with a side of dick.
just to lighten it. But I think the reason I want to have one, it's an easy way for us to spend some like intimate time together and like have a conversation and jerk each other off and stuff.
We got candles lit.
Do we? No.
Yeah.
I'm pulling my pants off right now.
That moonlighting.
But you did something with your life that you craved doing despite other things being positively in the way. Not like something was telling you not to do it, but you had like a good setup of things that you wanted to do. So you worked at Boeing for 3 years at that point. Yep. So we don't have degrees. Nope. We're making reasonable money. We have good benefits. We're in a good area. There's reasonable people around. You have a good family support system. Yep. Yeah, but throughout your childhood, it seems like you had kind of this imagery of, I don't know, G.I. Joe or whatever passing through your brain, and to a certain point that called to you for a long time. And we would have conversations about the military and doing something like that. And I'm a person who gets addicted to things for small amounts of time. So I'll be like, of course I'm going to
You've had like 900 hobbies since I've known you.
Real. So. Yeah. It's true. I'm just like a fair weather hobbyist. Fan of stuff. Yeah. I think I'm more of an, if my hobby is being interested in things. And so, but you had this thing that was kind of a constant, and a lot of people have those crazy dreams, but a lot of people don't take them seriously. And you did like a straight up cliff jump.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so that's interesting to me at what drove you to do that. And because I think that's important for people to realize that when you think of something that you want to do in your life, it's better to spend 4 years of your life doing it than it is to think about how you didn't do it.
That's the worst.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I didn't want to be an old man, looking back at my life and like regretting never even trying it. Mm-hmm. So, I knew that, Boeing would be there for, it's always going to be there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I can always come back to it.
Economy crashes tomorrow.
And
Boeing goes bankrupt.
Looks like I'm re-enlisting, boys. No, but that was, I was realized too, I was getting to the point where, I'm an old man in
Army terms.
In Army terms, yes.
Because I joined at what age?
I joined at 26. I signed the paperwork to like join at 26, and at 27 I was shipped to boot camp.
Oh shit.
And so like already off the bat I was like, man, I'm gonna be one of the oldest motherfuckers here. Luckily there was 2 other dudes that were actually older than me in my basic, so we got along. Like we clicked a lot, and we had a lot of the same ideals. Like we liked working out, we liked pushing ourselves.
And fuck all those young motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, it's great. Outperforming these young bucks. I'm like, yo, how old are you? Hey, get out of here, dude. I'm almost 30. I'll be 30 in like March, so a couple months.
Yeah.
And I'm still out PTing most of these.
Well, that's
because
a lot of the young kids are gamers and just nerdy
that's true
motherfuckers.
I try to get my one buddy like, hey man, come to the gym with me? He's like, nah.
I understand that, but I've noticed there's certain things that. This is gonna sound like a negative thing, but you have a dumb mind. Does that make sense? Like this doesn't make. I'm gonna set that up.
Dumb as fuck.
I'm gonna set this.
It's cool though, right, bro?
No, I'm gonna put this.
We're
together.
still friends.
No, I'm gonna put this together in a way that is a positive. You have a dumb mind in the way that despite things hurting, it doesn't matter. You'll just do them.
That's very true.
I don't have that.
To quote
I'm a
David
bitch.
Goggins, you got a calloused mind.
Yeah, that's a smarter way to put it. But
I'm gonna. We're more friends right now.
Yeah.
Aaron and I are more friends right now. You're kind of.
But it's like your brain values finishing things more than it values
the struggle.
Fears pain, and my brain doesn't do that. My brain pitches out of uncomfort, and I'm trying to get more invested in being uncomfortable.
Join the army, bro.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. But I've noticed that about you is you have the willingness to go through pain. You did those Tough Mudder things and these things that are like the reward versus what you have to put into it isn't necessarily always positive, but you're like, I'm just going to do it. Like,
that's true.
And that's awesome. That's what
I love
about.
Pushing myself through stuff. And that's why I think like, I'm really upset that I never got to try
He cured himself of a peanut butter allergy by eating peanut butter.
Fuck this shit.
He's like, I don't have a dumb mind.
Well, that's because in basic you don't get nearly as much food as you want. So it's like, I need some extra protein. So like, I know peanut butter is kind of
just jerky the dude in your mouth.
I mean, that stays in the back.
My grandmother is gonna listen to this.
Your grandmother's going to disown you.
Yeah.
Eat the loads.
No, but like that's one of the things I really regret. The Army never really allowed me because I've tried and tried and talked to my leadership and stuff like, hey man, I want to go to Ranger, I want to do all this stuff, And they always kind of like, no, do it later. We don't have time for that.
Well, the problem is if you're a good soldier, they want to keep you.
Yeah,
so they're not going to fucking send you to somewhere where you're going to leave.
Exactly.
Unless you wanted to do, what was it, the SFAB shit started just like scooping everybody up. So you could have done SFAB, but...
Yeah, but I was already in the sniper section, so I was like, I'm living a pretty good life. And then, at this point, it's like, I got 7 months left, so like, I don't want to do shit. I just want to get the fuck out.
I want to get this on a timeline, though. So you're at Boeing, and you're just like, nothing's really happening. So you're hanging out with the demon lady, and then you're at Boeing for a while, and then you decide, okay, I'm going to do this thing, and you sign up in a certain way. So kind of tell the story of that from when you decided, hey, I'm going to do this without telling anybody just because I need to do this.
Well, so yeah, there's this one day where, 3 years of working at Boeing, there's one day I kind of just crawled the wing, and I just looked around the factory, and I was like, this place has been here forever. It's going to be here forever. I need to do something for me. Like, right now, I really don't have any, big... I don't have any, a house payment. I got, my car insurance and shit. But, I don't have anything big, like kids, wife, or anything like that. I don't have the girlfriend, but, again, she can fucking deal or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, I just, I just need to do my thing. Because, if I did ever have kids, I can't tell them to follow their dreams when I never followed mine.
Yeah.
So, it's and again, it's just something I've always wanted to do. So
I'm so glad my dreams are in my basement. I literally just
a little creepy.
I follow him to my basement.
We got a casting couch over here, so I'm not sure what we're doing after this.
We're gonna flip that camera, and you're gonna butt fuck me with the big dick.
Sorry, Grandma.
Jesus Christ, Meme, please just turn off this episode. It's only
Don't listen to it.
X-rated.
Jesus, yeah.
X gonna give to you.
But so then you decided, and then the story that leads from there, you decided you're just like, this place sucks.
Yeah, so out the gate, during basic, I was loving it. Like, yo, I'm learning infantry shit. I'm gonna be an infantryman. And then they're like, you're going to Germany. I was like, what? Yeah. Germany's an option? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So they shipped me to Germany, which I was pretty poopy about. And then as soon as I got done in processing, they sent me to the S3 shop, which is definitely not infantry at all.
No. Oh, you worked in S3?
What is S3?
Bro.
It's where higher ups, like captains and lieutenants, and
he's basically a glorified
majors.
assistant.
Okay. Yeah, so I basically was just a bitch boy. I would sweep and mop, I would check the trucks, make sure they ran. Then I'd have to move heavy shit around all goddamn day long. And then when we went to the field, I never did anything infantry in the field. I would just have to set up, big ass tents, put all these computer stuff in there, set them up, and then all the higher ups came. They're like, all right, cool, bye, scram. Oh, this is awesome. That's totally not what I signed up for. God damn it. So I did that for about...
I was doing my best to not say that when you joined originally, because I had done a lot of research prior, and I had known, if you want to go to Ranger School, you have to have it written in your contract, or it's, so fucking
you
unlikely. You
should have fucking told him.
Well, no, he didn't tell anybody.
Oh,
he didn't tell anybody. He was like, I have a date, and then I got told that he was leaving.
Well, you had your date when I came back from the Army, didn't you? Or no, it was talking about it.
It was
I remember
it all happened real fast. It was in March before my birthday, I think. So I think it was the 1st of March. I went in there, did all the paperwork, and by the 15th was my birthday. I was like, hey, everything's squared away. I'm leaving April 7th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so everything was boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. So if he would have told me, I'd be like, you need that
in your fucking contract
written down, or you're not going to get the opportunity. Because I know if you had it written down.
Well, you were talking about joining
your ASVAB, right? Didn't you have a thing on your ASVAB?
Your GT score was low.
It
was 103, but I heard you can get it wavered. So if it was back in 07, when I graduated high school, I could have easily gotten.
Oh yeah, because they were looking for.
They were just looking
cannon fodder.
Exactly. So I was like, oh man, that's cool.
Yeah, you can lead the way right into fucking Fallujah.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that would have. Retrospect, if I could go back in time, I would have definitely joined in 07.
Because then you would have got what you wanted.
Exactly. So, yeah, if you want to join the Army and you want to do cool guy shit, make sure it's not in peacetime. Yeah, make sure it's in contract and not peacetime.
Well, it's
peacetime is
the time that you joined was the time that I had been talking to him consistently about how much it fucking sucked to be part of Big Army. Yeah, and so I knew...
Big Army is the worst. You have to go to those special, Ranger is
Well, it depends. It depends on the type of person you are. Big Army works for the pieces of shit that don't want to do anything.
That's true, and I've met a lot of those.
For the people who are going into it because they're craving that struggle and that fancy shit and to be in the fight, Big Army's not the place for you.
Definitely not.
you're not doing what you're there to do. It's garbage.
Yeah.
Big Army fucking blows. And I was in logistics. I wasn't even an infantryman. I was a warehouse.
He literally
bitch.
left warehouse job to get a warehouse job in a shitty uniform
in the Army, making less money. Mm-hmm. But my plan was to go.
We all fucked up.
Ranger school.
We all grow.
Well, he was gonna go to special forces.
That's how
selection.
That's how I got out of the Army. Was I went to do my physical for my phase 1 for SFAS, and they found a heart murmur. Which I had this heart condition before I joined, but my recruiter's like, just don't say anything. Like, oh, you're good. Cool, bro. We need to get our numbers. Fuck you.
That's definitely a thing. Cause I see some people that like are in there. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? How the fuck did you
recruiter
get
needed the numbers? Called it good, but
push them through.
They found a heart murmur, found out I had a heart defect, and they're like, oh, med board. So then I got med boarded, and at that point, I was at a place where if I didn't go SF, I wanted to get the fuck out. So as soon as they started the med board process, they're like, you can fight this and you'll probably win, but I don't think SF will take you. And I'm like, I'm just going to get the fuck out.
Deuces.
Yeah.
So then you were doing S3 and it wasn't fun, and then it led to you getting the opportunity to do something that was a little more Mr. Cool Guy break down doors type shit. Like,
well, because of like my personality, like who I am, this like I've always been a hard worker. Like my father taught me to like, you know, bust your ass at shit, you know, do what you want. And
Kevin will walk through punches. Like Kevin
robot walks.
When we would spar, like I would just be punching him, and he's terrifying. He will Terminator you. I watched him spar our coach, and our coach would be blasting him, and he would just be shaking his red cheeks and just walking towards him. We're like, what are you doing? You're gonna die. Yes, hard worker is one way to put it, for sure.
Yes, definitely.
Continue.
But then, some of the higher ups, I guess, like took notice of that, and they kind of pushed my name through, like, hey, an opening is like there in the sniper section. Would you like to go and like try and see if they'll take you?
Fuck yes.
And I was like, yeah, of course. Like, not only like I'm doing some cool guy shit. Like, I think like that is like I think probably like lowest level of cool guyness, because like after that you have to go like Ranger SF.
Yeah.
But after I became a sniper and all that stuff, like we walk around and like when we're in the field and stuff, people are like, "Oh, what's up, snipers? What are you guys doing?" Like, they're like small town celebrities, so it's kind of cool. You go to like a barracks party, which is just trash.
Oh, you're like, a sniper!
Oh, sniper, get these guys some beers and some shots. Let's go. I'm like, oh, thanks, man.
Well, so like anyone who's ever thought about, at least in this center, like in this era of YouTube and access to content, anyone who's thought about joining the military has watched like Surviving the Cut.
Oh yeah.
I feel like, you know? And so if you watch Sniper School and like the Sniper School videos, and you see those guys crawling in the fields and making those long range shots and then having to get out, and then Kevin calls me one day and he's like, yeah, I was doing that this week, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? That's so sick. So like you got to do this type of thing.
I got to do all the practical stuff. I never actually got the chance to go to school, which is also like a kick in the dick that the Army gave me, because so I was doing all my paperwork to get do all these medical things and go do all this crap.
Your
and
physicals.
I had all the paperwork in hand, and it was right before we were getting rotated into Poland. We were going to be there for 5 months. And again, Army needed the numbers, and so Sergeant Major said, no one is going to go to any schools or anything while we're in Poland. I was like, oh, fuck. So we had to toss that shit aside. But as soon as we got there, people started going to different schools, and I went to like all these things. I was like, yo, what about all that paperwork? Well, like, do you have it? Like, well, it's back in Vilsec. Why would we bring stuff on
to a place where I'm not supposed to go to any schools from?
Yeah, exactly. So like, oh, well, guess that sucks. But that being said, I have done a lot of cool things, like being attached to the sniper community. I've got to, there was one time we were doing a sniper range, and one of the SF units were in the neighborhood, and they're like, hey, do you mind if we like come shoot with you guys?
Yeah, don't break OPSEC, but say as much as you can.
But like it was pretty cool that they like wanted to hang out and like shoot guns with us.
Yeah.
And then there was another time where we got to while in Poland, we actually got to go to a sniper competition there. So we got to hang out with a bunch of Polish dudes that are
the multinational competition type shit.
Yeah, it was really cool, great experience. And there's been a few other things, but it's been really awesome, great experience to be part of this community and be, because it's kind of small for what it is, but it's awesome, having all that stuff.
So you're almost ready to get out at this point, but did you? So you took this big leap. You decided, I don't want to go through life without having at least slightly fulfilled this thing, and you haven't gotten to do all the things that you set out to do. But do you feel like now you feel better now, having done at least a part of what you need, like what you felt like you needed to do?
Oh, definitely. I did the Army thing. Found out that big Army sucks, but then again, I hit that level of cool guyness enough. Like I just tickled by being a sniper. It's like
your kid playing airsoft, and you realize in 10 years I'm gonna be an actual sniper. Like you're like, that's pretty cool.
Being a sniper's cool, and every little kid or everyone on video is like, "Oh man, I want to be a sniper. It's awesome." But me more so, I'd rather be because I want to be a ranger. I wanted to be a door kicker. I wanted to go in there and
fight the fight.
Yeah. Because a lot of times what we did was just when we were doing field missions, we would just sit out there with a radio and shit and just call shit up like, "Hey, here's this," and then they would call for fire on shit. Oh,
that's awesome. And it was all training because Vilsec or what is it? USARA or Eurocom or whatever the fuck it is, it's a non-deployable unit. We're there to be they're there to be a speed bump for Russia if they decide to get froggy.
We're exactly. We're just there. Hey man, where are the real fighters gonna show up?
Yeah, you're there to just be like, oh, they're coming, and then you're done.
Exactly. I mean, it's been a pretty good experience, but I don't know. I think just because Dylan's known for a while that I'm a shooter. On my own, I've always gone out, done shooting, done training on my own. Yeah. So I think that
you crave violence.
I'm a violent guy. I like to punch people.
It's totally fine. I'm a very calm person. I crave violence too. I want to be as lethal as humanly possible while being the most calm person in the room. That's my overall goal. Yeah, that's like I want to know how to head kick every single person who walks into a room.
Well, you do, but I also want to be face can tell you that your legs are pretty lethal. Yeah.
But I think it's that old school Miyamoto Musashi samurai style balance thing. There's a certain level of you crave intellect, but you also crave murder. There's a certain balance that you need to be the Renaissance man, I guess.
Definitely.
And so while you got to be in the military, you ran over this super hot speed bump, and she's sitting next to you, and so your plans changed a little bit.
Super hot speed bump.
Cutest nickname.
This is my super hot speed bump.
Actually, the nickname I always call her is she's my little crack pipe.
I can't get enough. But so your plans probably changed a little bit after having met her. So it's pretty common. Long distance relationships in the military and stuff, but I want to just figure out how you guys got together and how that changed your views of I want to be Mr. Cool Guy versus I have other goals now. So what is
well, I still want to be a cool guy.
Yeah.
I'm never going to give up on that. I'm still a kid at heart.
You're just going to do
number.
Different cool shit.
Exactly. Things have changed. But yeah, I'm still out shooting. I got to go shoot this morning actually with my brother, which is nice.
Yeah.
But no, we met because my aunt, her mom was a family friend of my aunt. It's weird.
I can explain it.
That's why I brought her along. I'm not good with the words.
What do I tell them? So his aunt is a family friend of my parents, and they'd been friends for 3 years prior. And so I went over to the house, and she was there, and then she's like, "Oh, you should meet my nephew." And then she kind of linked us up, and we started talking, and then just went from there.
So it was one of those you should meet my so and so that wasn't a fat piece of shit that actually worked out. Because
I guess
every you should meet my nephew
trolls,
or my
fucking trolls,
the basement people like me.
Well, when she first showed me a picture of him and everything, I was like, I'll talk to him, but I wasn't sure because I was just I'm so sick of dating, and fine, I'll talk to you. And so
I'll throw you a bone.
After 3 days, I messaged her.
He sent
3 days later,
one dick pic, and she's like,
I'm
sold. Dream come true.
But yeah, he sent me a message. And
Mom, he's got a fat.
You just don't understand.
Oh my god.
But he sent me a message, and I was just I'm just gonna let it sit there because I didn't really want to respond because I didn't even remember I think it was like Super Bowl weekend or something. And I was like, whatever. And then like a few hours later, she was just like, hey, like he's in Germany right now. Like he's about to go to bed. You should like say that you got the message. Like don't be a dick. I was like, okay, fine. And so then we started talking and I don't know, just we kept talking because usually like nowadays is a lot of people's attention spans are so small that you're just like
ghosted so quick.
Are you still there?
Yeah.
The Netflix thing goes on.
Yeah.
But we just kept talking and then like he came home after a month like for spring break and then it's really weird. It's a weird story.
I talked so much shit to all my friends that were like, "Oh, I'm talking to this chick back in the States." I'm like, "You're fucking retarded."
Yeah.
and then she comes along. I was like, "Ah, shit."
No, when you told me, I was like, "Here we go."
Okay, bro.
Is she real?
It seemed, yeah.
Well, no, I was like, I know how this is because you've been away from like. You've been hanging out with a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, sure, like any girl.
And then you're like,
what
pretty
does she
girl.
look like?
Oh, she's fucking awesome. And then literally she's saying, I'm going to kill you in your sleep. And you're like, oh, look past it. But, like,
Must be a typo.
but I guess
autocorrect is so weird.
So it's a thought process like, what is? Oh, I'm doing that thing again where I talk before I have like the question formed in my head. Yeah, but I mean, it's interesting to me. Like, what made you guys like want to? What, like you guys dove in really fast, but you guys were smart about it at the same time. So I just like I wonder.
You didn't go after that BAH. Good move.
Yeah. Well, he was just like, we could get married, and then
there was a pause in the recording, so I'm just gonna let everyone say that. Everyone know that we did that. Yeah. But I was asking questions about the long-term, like the long-distance relationship when you're so focused on some certain thing. And you're very focused on something else. And so, like, how it's really, I naturally want to be as good as I can in relationships. And this is distant from the military questions that I want to ask you more of. But it's important to have healthy relationships, whether it's with friends or loved ones or whatever. But what are, like, integral things that you guys had to kind of regiment or
implement,
things that were organic or things that were forced that you had to do to yourself so that you made sure the other person felt like, very
you were in a fucking relationship.
Yeah, so like that's hard as fuck. You're in a 9-hour time difference. Like she's a driven, successful woman who's busy working all the fucking time, and you're out there trying to shoot people in the face. And I'm just kidding. That's not
from distance.
But
hell yeah.
What are the pillars that you guys had that kind of shaped the ability to make it to this point? I mean, you guys are about the same amount of time I am from getting married, so I'm just interested in. I am around the person daily, and sometimes it's harder, honestly. Sometimes it's a lot harder.
I want to kill yourself.
But
that's autocorrect.
Do you guys have anything like that, like pillars that have made it, that you're like, this is an important thing to make it, or was it just all organic? You never had to think about
Laughter,
it. Was it never
duty,
hard?
Respect, selfless service.
Laughter, I think, was the main thing. Like, because at first I just like wasn't sure. Like, whatever, I'll send this chick a message. Like, I don't think anything was gonna drive from it. But then she was like, just hilarious. I stayed up and talked to her like way longer than I should. I'd get like 3 hours of sleep a night and then go do PT the next day.
I sent her fucked up shit. I sent her fucked up.
Oh, and that's the thing too. Like, I would start telling jokes, she'd tell jokes back, and then started getting like to where my real humor is, which is like the fucked up shit. And she started saying more fucked up things than I was. I was like, I like this girl. All right.
Yeah, it's an acquired taste for our sense of humor, I would say. So finding someone that can be on the same level and
everyone who listens to this podcast has to slightly have that sense of humor because we talk about that gnarly shit constantly.
All the time.
Yeah.
Constantly.
And so like I would say, well, it was easy to make each other laugh, so that part is just really organic, but like everyone always talks about how communication's the biggest thing, and I don't know, I feel like stuff was just really easy. I always tried to make sure that, like in the beginning I told him, hey, if you ever have like a problem or something's on your mind, like you have to say it. Like you can't just not say it. And honestly, I think being apart was almost better than being around each other all the time, because when you see someone every day, you're just like, oh, I'll just put it off tomorrow. Like, we can deal
stuff
with
it.
The superficial really takes over too.
Yeah, and so like it's easier to just avoid a problem when someone's always there because you have time on your hands. Yeah. Whereas where we are, you don't have that, and you need to communicate. So if you have a problem, you like can't sit there and be like, I'm gonna give them the silent treatment. Like that doesn't work.
Bet.
So
we play my video games now.
That's your Kaycee.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. You're fine.
But yeah, you can't like do that regular bullshit where you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna ignore him and like he'll understand. You're like, no, you have to.
Well,
actually
that doesn't
talk about
even work in the regular
No,
world.
you're like, thank you for like being quiet. For
I think that's one of the things that really does like make it work for us is that there's no bullshit or games involved. Like with many, a lot of chicks will do that kind of stuff where they play games with their man, but like she's very straightforward and blunt, and she's like, hey motherfucker, like let's talk about this. Damn, all right, we're doing it. So I think that's what, again, like that's another reason why it makes it
well
work.
I think from talking to you a lot, I know that you've had kind of like a weathered past, as most of us, like as me and Aaron, have very traumatic childhoods. Just like having a traumatic childhood makes you a very introspective person. And so I feel like having trauma can make you like very self-smart. And so you have the ability to ask yourself questions on a daily basis constantly, so you have less bullshit in your brain because you challenge that bullshit on a second by second basis. When you say something or you do something, you go, why the fuck did I do that?
Yeah.
So I think in a way it is the way you guys communicate, but in the way you also, it's a weird to say this, but you got lucky that you found somebody who's slightly broken, but does that make sense though? Like you have like people who are broken but rebuilt are so much stronger than
like
people who have never
Japanese
been broken.
Pottery shit.
Yeah, it's like when people, like when you have those like small fractures in your bones and the calcium like supposedly makes it stronger, it's these micro fractures that build strength, and the same way that traumatic people they eliminate a lot of that bullshit from their brains, and so it's like I guess I think that would be helpful in a way.
Yeah, well, you also have to understand what your imperfections are, because if you're just being crazy and you know that you're being crazy, you can say, hey, I'm mad right now and I know I'm being ridiculous, but like this is my thought process, this is why it's happening, and like I'm sorry, and then just move on from there. Like you can't change all of the past overnight, but you can be aware of what's happening and try to stop it. Yeah. And so, like...
But I'd way rather have someone be like, I'm fucked up because of this, than to be like, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah. Like,
then you're like, are you fucking serious? Like...
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't see what the problem is here? I'd much rather have someone be like, here's the problem. I know it's irrational.
Yeah. No, I tell them that sometimes, where I'm like, I know I'm being irrational right now.
Yeah.
Sorry for being crazy earlier.
I'm sorry I threw all those dishes.
But so that I guess that's, so you didn't get to complete all the goals that you had for when you joined the military. You wanted to be Mr. Cool Guy. Like you wanted to be, and you got to be that to a point, but you wanted to fulfill that full ideology.
To be speaking Farsi in the middle of the fucking desert, like.
And wanted to have a beard and not have his hair cut and be wearing the.
As you can see, I got my Lee beard going on right now. And I'm sad I'm going to cut it, shave it soon. So.
Yeah, but what I want to know is, have you thought about what are some of those things that you've learned in the time that you've been there that you value high enough to allow you to comfortably leave? So you're leaving now soon, and like you've gone in there with everything you had, and you're taking something out. And what parts of Kevin are you bringing out that you are very valued, like you're very excited that you got, and you specifically got it from the military? And what kind of bad things maybe did you get from the military?
Well, there's a lot of bullshit involved, but like again, like I think that we really made it like that made me go, boom, I'm done. Was again, going to the sniper section, hitting that level of cool guyness, but also it's just the dudes that I met in the sniper section. Awesome dudes. Like those are the dudes I'm gonna like be friends with forever. Like Aaron was saying earlier, like you can go to their house at any point.
They're really good at Battlefield.
Oh yeah.
It's funny playing, like, sorry, I just cut you off again, but it's funny playing Battlefield. Like this is a random Xbox game, but with military nerds, because they're hella military while they play Battlefield. They're like, we're all moving on, like, hey, I'm taking the west flank, or just like they're all fucking like hella cool guy while playing an Xbox game. They get to live out
the cool guy shit.
Yeah. That's how we make up for it.
This is how we're trained.
That's pretty funny. But
training will pay off.
So yeah, I mean, I got, I think I got what I needed. Yeah. Or was looking for, at least. So I got that experience. But,
Specifically, is there anything that it taught you, like a specific character traits that you think that'll kind of be within you every day? Like, I feel like there's a lot of character traits that I have that I got specifically from martial arts. So is there any things that you are happy that you got from there and things that you aren't, I guess?
I mean, there's little things will help me in my, like, I don't know, like shooting, like path, my shooting hobby. There's little things like, I mean, layouts suck. I hate doing layouts.
But now you know how to do it.
But you do a layout and you can actually see like what you're missing. And I think, again, like the skills from the sniper section, because I've always wanted to get into long distance shooting. I think that'd be a fun competition to get into because I used to do pistol competitions. So when I get back, I'm just going to get back into all the shooting again. So now that I have some of the skills, now that's going to, apply over to my personal fun time. Now I'll be able to, know how to shoot long range and shit.
Yeah.
The bad stuff, though, I mean, the list can go on. You got sometimes leadership's really shitty.
Sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of the time.
He's still in. Relax,
but I think for me, being an older guy, there's a lot more negative because I've had a life and I've had experiences and I know things and I've had, jobs where
you have a mark for comparison.
Exactly. So, a lot of stuff sucks, but at the same time, like, it's like this job's way easier than I've. Oh yeah, it's the easiest job I've ever had.
Yeah.
I used to be a glazer before Boeing. I used to install windows, and sometimes we'd have these big 200-300 pound windows you're installing in someone's house that overlooks the water, and you're on a lift.
Yeah.
With like a rope around you. Like, oh, I hope this rope holds. So just having those skills and stuff, because there's a lot of people that obviously young people that join right after high school, they don't have a lot of experiences, and they're
easier to brainwash.
Yeah, that too. And just like simple things like we had to tie down a bunch of shit on top of the striker when we were traveling from Germany to Poland and shit. And all these people were just like packing shit really funky and like doing these weird knots and tie downs. I was like, hey man, can I show you something real quick? And then so like just being able to like bring that to the young people or whatever, or even
to be the platoon dad.
Yeah, exactly. So even though I'm only an E4 specialist, like I have no like real rank, but when I'm still like one of the
E4s
oldest,
are what make the army go round.
Definitely,
that's what I got out as.
Oh, definitely. I mean, yeah, you see it, and just being older again too, like having a lot of experience and shit. I just was able to show people stuff, and I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think it was nice just to show people.
Is there anything like personality traits though? Like, so you list like practical skills a lot, but like, do you have anything like that you think kind of attached itself to your soul, whether it being like camaraderie? I'm getting real hippie bullshitty right now, but like
camaraderie is always going to be there. Like again, like, those guys. Like
that's one of the hardest things to leave behind. Like I still struggle with that shit. Like
I bought you Chipotle today, though. You should be happy, right?
Well, but
that's camaraderie.
To go from where you have a tight group of at least 4 to 5 people to nothing. Well, I mean, your situation might be different.
No, maybe but when you're literally spending like all hours of the day with these people, and then like you go to the field and you're like sleeping in like maybe a tent if you're lucky, which we never did. Like I slept in some bullshit getting rained on, and you're like nut to butt holding on to your buddy because you're cold, so you're just like, hold me man, hold me closer. So like you do things like that are like
1 more inch.
Slower baby. But yeah, like it's stuff like that where it's like you're obviously gonna build some kind of like stronger bond than just like most people I have here. That's why I don't like I don't know, I didn't tell anyone I was coming home this year because there's a lot of people that just don't talk to me throughout the year. Yeah. Then like they find out I'm coming home and they're like, oh, I gotta hang
what's up?
Yeah, it's like that's some fake ass bullshit.
Yeah.
And so like I just stopped telling people I was coming home. And like when I get out, like no one really knows when I'm coming home, and not a lot of people will know when I'm coming home. So
yeah. They'll just see you at a grocery store one day or some shit. Like,
hey, you're home, and then they'll be like, oh, I have this thing, I gotta go.
Yeah. But my life went on without you.
Yeah. So I guess I want to. What did you that's what I'm trying to figure out is, so you decided to do this really big thing, and I think it's important why I want to have this conversation is because I think it's really important for people to do that more.
Yeah.
Like big things that you want to do are totally fine, and you should try as hard as you can to do them,
and they should be terrified. Like I was, because I'm leaving like a good job, a stable life, like everything I knew, and I was giving it all up. It was terrifying a little bit because you're just like, I'm jumping into the deep end, and I have no idea what's gonna be.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you find out like it's not as scary as you originally thought.
Yeah.
Jumping into the shallow end.
Do you feel like your life's more valuable now that you've taken that step rather than if you hadn't?
Oh, definitely, because now there's no question. I'm sure there's stuff on the inside. I'm probably like right now not thinking of exact answers, but I'm sure later on tonight, like, oh shit, I should have said
that shit.
But yeah, there's
it's cool. You come back in like 7 months. We're gonna do it again.
we'll do it again, round 2. Yeah. But yeah, there's definitely things that I see in my daily life. Like I'm glad. But I mean, there's negative things too. Like I do get angry a lot quicker than I used to.
Yeah, that's another question I was going to ask you. How have your views on people changed since coming back? Because I know that like you seem to get slightly more frustrated.
Yes.
Yeah. It happens.
I
It's
mean,
because you.
Oh, it's an army thing.
Well, when
'cause
you're
you do that too.
Yeah.
oh, I mean, yeah, definitely. Because everything's like,
All my
And you can
brothers.
be a fucking asshole. Like it's expected. Like you need to be straightforward. You need to get your point across quick, and everyone else just kind of accepts it and does what they need to do with you being a dick. And you have to put up with so much bullshit in the army that you're like, I don't want to deal with your shit too. Like your threshold, I feel like
the one thing
you
that
hit the
sucks
top
though
of
is
it.
like, again, being an older dude, and there's a lot of like dudes that are higher up than me,
yeah,
that are still younger than me, and like,
especially in the infantry.
yeah, and there's like, I want to, you got to respect the rank, as they say. So like, there's shit I would like, if it was just any other job, I'd tell dudes to shut up their ass. But in the army, it's like, you smile, nod, Roger, Sergeant. I would love to do that.
Yep.
Like, this guy's a fucking idiot. Why are we doing it like this?
Well, that's when you just say Roger and then you go do it your way because you know it's better.
Exactly,
And they can yell at you, but you'll be like, well, look.
It's done, and it's
Yeah,
good.
It's
Yeah.
better than your way.
Exactly.
Fuck you. I did that a lot.
But yeah, like, I think that's probably one of the negatives coming back is just I get angrier quicker, which sucks.
It's shorter. It goes away. Like you just, especially if you're aware of it,
Yeah.
like you can work to remedy it. But I know what you're talking about. And that's kind of why I just avoid stupid people. Because it's the tolerance for stupid shit. Like,
Yeah, that's what it really is. It's just like, after a while, the dumb shit that you've seen or just dealt to your mother. Yeah, you just snap it. You snap at someone.
well, and in the army, you can do that. You can be like, what the fuck is it? You're fucking stupid. Like, you can do that. But in
The
real
real
life,
Oh, yeah.
you can't be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, somebody's
Next
gonna
thing you
cry.
know, you're going to HR.
Yeah.
Oh, what's going on?
Yep. You
So-
gotta learn to be tactful.
So how do you plan on integrating, I guess, back into the civilian world? Is there things that you think you will miss consistently about being in the military, and how are you going to mend those weaknesses, I guess, moving back into, like, is there certain things that you feel like I need to do more of this so I can at least kind of feel this feeling from the military?
Well, the camaraderie, like he was saying, like, not having those dudes around that you
Yeah.
get to know. You go to their house for like dinner and stuff. Like a lot of single dudes, we went over to our
Barracks
friend's
parties
house
or-
to have Thanksgiving because otherwise we just sit in our barracks. So we had
or eat
a
the
house
shitty
to go
DFAC
to.
Thanksgiving.
Oh, that stuff's so trash. The DFAC is the worst food ever. The breakfast is the best food,
That's how it always is.
and it's not even that good. But it's like still like that's the only meal I will eat. Everything else, like I go buy my own groceries, even
Yeah.
though the army already takes out money
your
for
meal
food.
card. Yeah.
So I'm like already spending money on like food I shouldn't have to.
Yeah. Because their food's bullshit.
But yeah, coming back, it's going to be interesting. I think like I already have plans. Like I want to get right back into like make sure I have a gym set up, and then so I do my gym routine, and then I want to try to get back into martial arts as soon as possible because
That's a big. I feel like that would be a helpful in the camaraderie aspect.
definitely. Because I mean that's again like it's how you and I became like just like best friends. Was, punch each other in the face. Let's go to work now.
Yeah, dude. It's just like sucking through things with people is a good thing.
Well, that's how you build the relationship in the army. So
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, like I've been saying over in my head, through struggle, find joy, over and over again today for some reason, just because I've found that in times, especially around winter, I tend to get pretty depressed.
That's seasonal depression, bro.
Yeah, but I tend to realize, at least over the last year, I've realized that the times in which I'm working the hardest in pursuit of something, not necessarily achieving that thing, but when I'm working towards something, is when I feel the best, when I'm making progress.
But still sucking.
And martial arts is an active struggle. You're constantly struggling. It's either it's being tired or mentally weak, or you're actually getting punched pushed. There's a constant level of variables that are attacking you. Yeah, that. And so that's kind of where I am to find joy, and camaraderie is less of a thing that I think I appreciate it to a point.
Well, it's a survival thing in the military. Like you have to have those motherfuckers. Like even if you're not in a deployed environment, like just to get through the bullshit that you have to deal with in a company level or a field problem, like you need someone to like tell you dick jokes and just be your sounding board. Like you need those motherfuckers, whereas in the civilian world, like it's hard because you don't have that.
I don't feel like relationships in the civilian world are as genuine, maybe.
Yeah,
because everyone, like, you go to work in this, let's say, Bob in the office tells some dumb work joke. Everyone has that work, the work laugh, where you just give them like a pity laugh. We're like, all right, fuck off, I'm trying to go back to my work. So like, but in the Army, you definitely just like someone either says a stupid joke, you tell them to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you're leaving
or if someone tells a good joke, you actually will laugh. So
there's leaving a tribe, and that's a struggle too. And at least you found at least one person of your new tribe.
That is true. That's true.
Yeah,
she's been amazing. I don't know how she deals with it. I know she's, it's a struggle, obviously, because
it's the dick.
Do it for the D. No, well, all my brothers were in the military, so like I was used to them being gone, and like they were all angry too. So
are you gonna be annoyed having them around like all the time?
Oh my god! Don't worry. I don't know.
So he has to integrate and kind of try and fill those gaps that he's had, and so at a certain point, is it going to be difficult for you to like kind of not? I'm not saying this like he's your dog, but to loosen the reins to a point where you're going to be like, it's possible that it could take a significant amount of time for him to integrate to a point in where he can fill those gaps enough so that he feels like a regular member of society, but also not feeling lost because he left here for a reason, and so he's trying. Like when you come back, if you're still going to have these gaps that you need to fill, and figuring out where you can actively fill those.
I already know that's gonna be a thing, and I told her and I told myself I'm gonna give myself 1 year back at Boeing to get my shit, like, get my life back together, put money in my pockets again, because I took a huge pay cut from,
but the benefits, it all evens out when you got the benefits.
Oh yeah. So
the GI Bill's nice though.
That's true. The VA home loan, that's what I'm looking forward to eventually. But I told myself 1 year to kind of get my life back in order, and then even during that time, I want to try to find maybe the next stepping stone, whether it's a new career or pushing myself further in, whether it's martial arts or
recreational things,
or just so find whatever's the next thing that's going to just keep me sane for
Well, I told myself that I want at least one fight before I'm too old to do it.
There you go.
That's like,
I just need to head kick a motherfucker, dude.
That's my next
I need it on tape.
Yeah. I mean, I would. I think I would like to do that too. I think that's
I don't want you to go to jail.
Well, you can go. No.
A sanctioned fight. Yeah.
Hey, let's go to.
Let's go to the bar. Let's go to the bar real quick. Let's find a crackhead.
I honestly feel like the more you train martial arts, the less likely to get in a fight you are.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
And I feel like when you walk around, people just know, like, oh, I'm not gonna fuck with that guy.
Well, there's such you gain such confidence from it too.
Oh yeah.
And that's one thing I've noticed too is like after like being away from martial arts for so long. I'm still a pretty confident guy, but like there's like once you start like when you know how tough you are, like taking punches and kicks and then throwing it back to the guy, like you realize how tough you really are as a person.
There's always a tougher dude.
Oh yeah, there's always gonna be a tougher.
That's the thing. It's like I used to spar with lots of dudes at training, and I just feel like, oh, I'm getting the better of this guy, get the better of this guy, get better of this guy, and then Jeremy would be like, hey Dylan, you look like you're having a good time. Let's spar, and then he'd fuck me up. And
I'd be
right. Oh, there's levels of this shit. I gotta put my ego away. Yeah,
your ego is not your amigo. Remember that?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. So. That just shut me off. That was so good. He goes, now you're amigo. That's the title of this podcast.
The ego is not your amigo.
And they'd be like, I thought it was about ego, not about dicks.
There's more dick jokes than anything.
Yeah. What is the thing that you're most excited for him to come home for?
For him or for
No,
us?
for you. For him, for you.
Like, what are you most excited about?
That we get to actually have a life.
Yeah.
Because
be real people.
Yeah. The way it is right now, it's very individual. Like,
yeah.
I have my life, he has his life. And when we're together, it's it's not quite the same because it's like a vacation. So you're kind of just, you're doing all these things.
Honeymoon phase and then second honeymoon phase and then third honeymoon. Yeah.
And so you're trying
So you're ready to get into a fight in the kitchen.
Oh, no, we've done that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got in a fight the other day. right before we had to go get engagement photos taken. So, we got
Look at me like you love me.
We're just like sitting in the car silent, and he's like, so you want to talk about it, or are we gonna be awkward when we show up?
Staring in my eyes, and she's just like, fuck.
I almost kind of wish that would happen. Like, act like you love each other. Like, fuck you.
I was sitting there the whole time in my car, and like, I was driving, and in my head I was just like, oh man, I don't want to fucking do this. But then I was like, you know what? I just need to like nut up and just fucking like, we need to talk about this.
Yeah.
And again, that's something she's good at. Is just like, if there's some shit,
fight me.
We got take get over here. Yeah. So no, she's awesome about that. Like, being able to work through a problem, and it's like, hey, we need to talk about it.
Yeah.
I think the fact
I'm
that
the
we're both like
worst at that.
Yeah.
Because Chelsea goes, I need a couple minutes, and I go, no, let's talk about it right now. And why? What's wrong? Let me fix it. I'm codependent as fuck. I'm the worst.
Let me help you.
Yeah.
Well, like, they usually say that men are fixers, and so when there's a problem, the guys want to fix it, but I'm like that too.
Yeah.
So,
oh, well, then it works.
Yeah, because then I'm just like, I want to fix it. Let's both fix it. Oh my God, we're both fixing it.
And it's nice.
I think that's called intelligent.
Oh, yeah.
Smart life choices. All right. We're growing. I like this.
I'm very excited for you to come home.
I am super excited to come home.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to be a real human being again and do something that's productive.
And get a dog.
Yeah. And then get a dog also.
Doggies are cool.
Well, it's weird. Like, when you join the army, you want to join because you want to be a part of something bigger and feel like you have this purpose. But then you get into it and you realize you're just a fucking number, and they don't really give a shit about you.
I came down to formation one day, still kind of drunk, and I was like, "Man, they don't give a fuck about us. We're just fucking numbers." People were like, "Damn, dude!" Like,
yeah.
Shut up, number 23.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna get number 45 in trouble.
I know that it sounds like we're knocking hard on the army and shit. I mean, I still love the army. I'm glad we have the army because we wouldn't be, America without the fucking army. Just there's a lot of shitty things.
Just
there.
big army fucking blows.
Yeah, exactly.
You need to be in the
we
special
wouldn't have a
army.
basement
I love
filled
all
with
the service members, men and women from every branch. But they
Except
can
the
keep
Coast
that
Guard.
shit. Yeah, puddle jumpers, goddamn puddle pirates.
It's because of the army that I'm able to sit here and go, hey, what about your feelings?
Yeah.
You're welcome.
You're welcome for my service.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. Yeah, dude. I'm so stoked for you to come back. But I'm definitely excited to see how you fill those gaps. I think that's a big thing, is like a lot of people don't realize there's reasons why they did a lot of things in their life. And I think it's important to take those leaps, but sometimes those leaps aren't always going to fill all the things that you're looking for them to fill. And life is like a constant building block. Like, you're constantly playing Minecraft. You're like stacking things and figuring out this doesn't work.
Definitely, because especially as you get older too, things change in your life. Like when I was younger, the thought of getting married, I was like, oh, fuck that shit, that's stupid. But now I'm like, yo, I'm about to get married, and that's awesome. I'm excited about that shit.
She's super hot. Chill out.
I
dude.
thought that too. I was like, being married sucks.
You guys are both cutie pies, though. I was like,
you're pretty cute too. Jerk you off later.
I'm down to 214 now.
Ooh, baby.
Keto, baby.
Yeah, I need to get on that's one other thing I'm really excited about. Is like coming back and having a real diet plan that's like real fucking food.
Yeah.
Because like the kitchen, quote unquote, that I have in my room is absolute garbage.
Yeah.
I had to go buy a skillet to like cook food. I had to buy a rice cooker because my microwave's broken, doesn't work. I tried calling people like, hey, this thing's not working.
They don't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck. The stove's trash. Like, it will turn on, but like after like 10 minutes, they inserted a timer on these things because I guess Joes were getting drunk
and leaving shit
on. They burned down like the barracks. So like now there's like timers on them. So like I tried cooking chicken breast in a pan on my stove. It took fucking 45 minutes. I was like, fuck this shit. I'm buying a George Foreman. Like,
yeah.
So I spent all this money just to try to eat a decent diet.
Yeah.
So
Not
sometimes
even, like top of the line diet, just like regular fucking diet.
yeah, just like regular food, and like it pisses me off when I see some of these dudes at the gym that are just like jacked. I'm like, how the fuck do you do it?
Where are you getting all that food?
Yeah, what you doing, man? I'm coming to your house.
I got married. I got that BA8.
See, yeah, if you're married, see, that's where I fucked up. That's why I was like, we're trying to get married right now.
You're trying to get married. Come over for 7 months.
Exactly.
Just give
No,
up
we
your
talked
really
about
good
that.
tech job and just come over here and let me make a little bit more money and you
Have
can
real
just
food.
give up your dreams.
If you lived at a better base, probably.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it
the
like
base
I've
fucking
gone over there.
blows.
Yeah, it's awful. Like it's
You could have gotten such like Stuttgart or fucking Ramstein or any of those other nice Air Force
Duhas.
bases.
Dude, anywhere.
Yeah. Except for Hohenfels.
Consoles, yeah, that's garbage.
even
That's
worse.
where dreams go to die.
Yeah.
That's the training area, and like,
There's not like it
man.
looks like Tent City. Like their setup there is horrible. But they got a decent jiu-jitsu program, Hohenfels. That's one thing they got going for them. But that's about
that's
it.
pretty cool. But yeah, besides that, like, you want to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah. Nah, fam.
So I have like one. We can talk about whatever you want. If you guys have weird shit, you
I thought
guys
you had.
want to ask.
I thought you
us
had.
about.
I saw your phone. You had like a shit ton of questions. You're
I
like,
asked
nah,
you most
never
of those
mind.
ones I went over. 'em,
Okay.
but I have.
As long as you got all your points across.
Well, I want to enable you to get as much about yourself out as possible. Both of you, I mean,
Bare
I want
your
you,
soul.
I want you guys to talk about whatever you want to talk about. If you guys have questions for us or want to talk about why we want to do this, or I don't give a shit.
What's
like,
your favorite color? I'm just kidding.
green?
boom, easy.
Done. Next question.
So, like, I guess this is important to me because we've had this conversation a few times. We've talked about masculinity on the podcast, and I think it's something that can, depending on how you look at it, can be attacked in today's world, and it can be seen as a
it's
negative
definitely
thing.
under attack in today's world.
Dude,
I have
think
so many
everyone-
opinions on that.
I think
So I
everyone,
wanted- this
everyone
is
needs
a-
to calm the fuck down.
Yeah, so this is what I want to. I
There's
want
too much freedom. Take it back.
I want to ask you guys if you have one. Do you feel like masculinity is a negative or a positive? And what are your pillars of masculinity? I want to know like what you think are integral parts of, I guess,
Being a man.
being a man. Yeah, they're being. I mean, yeah, just being masculine. What are like the positive parts about being masculine, and what are those pillars that shape being the ultimate? I guess, and that's important to me because
Fighting UFC.
I constantly want to be better. I want to be a better version of myself, and so to get an outside look at.
So we're
I
gonna
mean,
steal your ideas.
from a female's
okay.
perspective, it'd be really like intriguing as well.
Hey, why don't you start us off? Because we've talked a lot. You just kind of sat there.
It's your
I
turn.
mean, I'm asking
we're trying to
questions
help.
about the military. There's only so much that she,
Yeah,
she
I
has
mean, I don't live that
information
life.
for.
So when it comes to masculinity, it's weird because I feel like long time ago it was different, and then like nowadays there's a different definition of it. So like when I view like masculinity, I feel like everyone has a balance of feminine and masculine
Amen.
like energy. And so like being masculine, I think nowadays people say that, oh, you're not supposed to talk about your feelings, you're supposed to be strong and you can fight and all that other stuff, and I just don't think that that's accurate. I think telling people to bottle up their emotions isn't healthy at all.
Absolutely.
And so
Yeah.
being
Go
masculine,
home and beat your wife.
yeah, no,
Here's my feelings, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Yikes.
but I feel like with like someone that is really masculine is someone that has the ability to be like that, like sensitive.
You gotta be comfortable with yourself, and
Because like being someone that can't talk about their feelings, that benefits nobody. That
Yeah.
doesn't benefit the individual. That doesn't benefit the people that you're in a relationship with.
Oh, keep talking. I'm sorry. It's being distracting.
But it's just, I don't know. I feel like we as a society have really, I don't even know who came up with these definitions of what it was supposed to be, but I don't feel like it's accurate at all.
I feel like it probably comes from like the Great Depression when people just went to work and came home
"Don't
and
talk
did
about
it
your
again.
feelings."
Yeah. I got to go to work. Life fucking sucks.
We know you're
I
fucking
hate
hungry,
you.
pussy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think being masculine is more than just being able to be strong. Like strength, like there are women that are strong, like feminine, like you can be strong and
Yeah.
feminine. And
Amen.
I feel like it's a balance. And like I even struggle with that. I feel like I'm saying like a lot.
It's okay. I have a big problem with it, so they'll just notice me, not you.
Yeah.
There's like different topic, but with feminine traits when it comes to work, I feel that there is a tendency to overcorrect to act more masculine.
Yeah.
And you can still be strong and feminine. You don't have to have all these masculine type traits to be successful.
Yeah,
and
trying
so
to
like
be alpha male.
Yeah, and I try to be cognizant of that. And so when I'm at work and I have opinions about things, I try not to overcorrect like some women I know do.
Yeah.
And then they just it comes off bad. I'm like, you can be feminine, you can be girly and still command a room. And there was a quote that I saw a long time ago was that like you don't get respect by demanding it, you command it. So you teach other people how to treat you.
Yeah.
So like just telling people, hey, I deserve respect because I'm telling you that I deserve it, you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Well, I feel like it takes a lot more strength in general to be able to share your feelings.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So that whole...
Because no one wants to be vulnerable. That's scary
yeah,
shit.
That's the problem I'm
terrifying.
having even with my own thought process of masculinity is I'm attaching all strong things or tough, strong to masculine traits. And that's a negative because that takes away from the ability from females to be able to interact with those things.
I feel like you just need to don't polarize it as masculine or feminine.
Yeah,
and
I
just
did.
look at strength in general.
Yeah, it's like abolishing and just realizing, I guess, the 5 words that I have in my brain like shape being a positive person.
Yeah.
I think I think just today in general, people are just getting caught up on words.
Yeah.
And like again, people are getting offended by words, and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. When I hear people say that, oh, we're not allowed to do this anymore, I'm like, where's the council that said that we're not allowed to do that?
Yeah. I'm going to fucking do it.
Like, I don't, at a certain point, I don't think there's actually a lot of these people that are being offended. It's just like one person saying, I'm offended, and then it kind of spreads, and
The
then everyone's like, hey
bandwagon.
guys, come together. Like,
Yeah.
all get together. Like, I guess we're all offended now by this, so we can't say it. And I just don't think that
Well,
is...
if you're on Twitter, people are offended. But
Well,
if
yeah.
you're
Well,
not
I
on
think
Twitter,
the problem with
I think your
social
life's
media,
fine.
I think social media has been a big issue.
It's because people are bored and looking to be outraged
And-
for...
They're like, I need to fight.
yeah.
Yeah, they need something like, and that's
there's
where
no real
people,
struggle.
Yeah, exactly. People need, and that's where again, like you need to struggle in life. Like that's where you figure out who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And you grow from that.
And you're not concerned over dumb shit.
They're struggling
like
with those
toxic
words that are coming out of your
masculinity.
mouth.
Apparently,
Fuck. Find a better struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The people don't like to push themselves anymore. Like I feel like no one wants to push themselves anymore.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a problem with like this young generation of people that are like they're standing up and like that's a problem, that's offensive, this is that, like,
Yeah.
can't say that, don't do that, that doesn't belong to you.
Well, comfortable
Get your hands
times
out of your
breed weak men and that whole spiel.
That's one of my favorite quotes.
I don't know the quote like off the top of my head, but the general.
But yeah, it's just I just deleted that thing off my phone today too. 'Cause I
So
had too many pictures on my phone, so I had to delete
I
some.
think it's like hard times make strong men. Strong men make easy times. Easy times make weak men.
Exactly.
Some shit like
Yeah.
that. It doesn't even have to be men. We can just people.
People, don't want to offend anyone.
Yeah.
Well, and I know strong women, so I don't want to downplay.
They're
it,
like my fucking favorite.
Yeah.
Honestly, they're probably my favorite people on the planet.
Yeah.
They're the people that have taught me the most, I think. Men have. Honestly, I just feel like women make more open mentors. At least to me, they're just more open
Well,
with
a
their
strong-
help, and they can tell the story of them helping you rather than hoping that you accept what they're giving. Like men can be there for you, but you don't realize that they're there. They don't
They're
give
like
you the hand of
ghosts.
emotion at the same time. They just go like,
most of the time
Watch
you're
me
not
chop
hugging
wood.
and crying a dude.
Yeah.
Or hugging and crying with a dude.
yeah, crying a dude.
Crying a
When you
dude.
twist him and his
Yeah.
blood pours out like sweat.
I'm gonna brain you.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm excited for you to come back. I'm so stoked that you just did something that you wanted to do. And I think that's if anybody gets anything from this podcast, I just want them to realize like if you want to be a photographer, start taking pictures.
It's never too late.
If you want to, unless you're dead.
Well, then I think you got bigger problems. I know. I woke up dead today.
Shit.
But if you want to do a podcast, start doing a podcast. If whatever you want to do
Just
it.
fucking do it.
You just need to do it. And maybe that'll become your career, or maybe it'll just bring you a couple seconds of joy a week.
Maybe you'll find out you fucking suck at it.
And maybe you'll realize that you want to do a different version of that, or figure out that made you feel a certain type of way, and you can find a different way to find that feeling. But it's important for us to struggle in life, and it's important for us to seek things that are greater than us
and hard.
That's the only way I feel like the Earth is gonna like be successful.
And that's why I messaged you after I saw your first podcast episode, and I told you, but like, this is awesome that you guys are doing something that you're really passionate about, and like again, making people feel good about themselves or whatever it is, but like bringing joy to yourselves. Like, this is awesome. Because I know, like, Dylan and I, we used to talk in the wing for like hours. Like, you guys working in there? Kind of.
Yep.
We're doing something.
I still think that video you made when I was on the there was a cart and he's filmed at a straight angle and you can hear me screaming while I'm rolling on the cart and it's twisting and it goes like and it just like disappears. That was great. But
just work things.
Shit.
But no, yeah, I think it was really important, and I think it really benefits us to be doing something like this.
Yeah, it's definitely a great outlet, something to look forward to, and
it's a lot of work. It's a struggle
because of it.
It's nice to actually sit down face to face and like talk to someone.
Yeah, and not be on your phone.
Not be on your phone.
Yeah. I was only looking at my phone to check time and to look at the questions.
Well, yeah, no. I was watching. Don't worry.
I was texting.
Better not be on Instagram.
I was DMing.
Sending you some sick memes.
Yeah. Sending Kaycee memes all the time because we're not talking to her enough.
But to like piggyback off of what you said, the reason I joined the military was because my first ex-wife, her dad said that's the one thing that he regrets not doing while he still could, was joining the military. And like,
there you go.
The next day I was in the recruiter's office, like, what do I need to do? How do I do this? Let's go. And I don't regret it. Like, it fucking sucked. And the relationships that I had through the military kind of sucked, but Army marriages don't count, so it's a good thing you guys aren't getting married.
No, yeah, I mean, yeah, the Army is like, you talk to anyone that's ever served and they're like, yeah, man, like, while you're doing it sucks, but yeah, when you look back on the times, like,
that's a struggle.
Like, being in the field,
yeah,
and you're struggling and you're like, fuck this, fuck that, but then you like, come back and like, we even talk about it like
so much
now,
fun.
Like, yeah,
that's the thing, though.
It's fun.
The things that sucked while you're doing it are the best things, like, that you've ever experienced, pretty much. It's like when you're struggling through something, it's so much more important than that one time that somebody brought you a cupcake while you were at work.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
That's cool, but no, like, I was on a hike and my feet were bleeding, or like my sister sprained her ankle at the top of a mountain and I had to carry her down. While I was carrying her down the mountain, it was fucking terrible. But I love like that at the end people were like, oh, Dylan, you're a savage, and that I got to do it. Like, I was just like, I can carry a person down a mountain. Like, that's
something you didn't know you could do it, but now you do.
So it's so much cooler than
a mother's strength.
Strong woman.
And then I chewed up a Cliff Bar and spit it into her mouth.
Baby bird it. All right.
Yeah, but I just think it's really important that people struggle more and people do things that they want to do.
Just take the fucking leap.
There's so many opportunities in this world. I mean, it cost us money to do this. It cost you 4 years of your life to do that thing, but they're all variables that we have. We have these commodities at
It's
our
a give and
hands.
take. Whatever you do is going to be a give and take.
Yeah. Figure out what you need to sacrifice to earn what you need from that thing.
And most likely it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
you'll get something from it. Whether it's a lesson that you learned, like, okay, that sucked, but now I know, like, now you get something from it.
Yeah.
You
either learn what to do or what not to do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Everyone's got something to teach. That was the biggest thing I took away from the military, because that was a saying within our platoon, like, either you know what to do because they're a good example, or you know what not to do because they're a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true.
But you think that's good enough?
I think so.
You guys anything?
I love you guys.
Was it still recording? That's all I want to know.
Yeah, it was recording this time.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I love you guys. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to be like, hey, will you put on headphones and talk to us for an hour?
Dude, actually, as soon as I saw your first podcast, I was like, I hope he invites me.
I want to feel something.
Yeah. And I want people who listen to the podcast to realize that they don't need, like,
you can come on to the podcast.
You can come on to the podcast. I mean, like, we got to vet you a little bit.
Yeah.
Just
but
come on here.
if
Blood
you
in,
want to
blood
do
out,
it,
homie. Blood in, blood out.
I have, like, right, this episode we are focused on Kevin, and so like I definitely would have more questions about your chosen career field or just you in general. I would love to talk to you about. I mean, like childhood is a hard thing for people to be like, let's record that shit. But I think it's really a really important thing to unpack.
While she listens to it later.
Yeah, but
like I never knew that.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So that's why you're a drug addict.
Yeah, but people have made choices in their life. People have stories. People do cool things, whether it be like, it doesn't matter what it is. There's a certain like value that you can take from what people have done in their life. I find myself when I'm driving in a car and I'll look next to me and I'll see just some person in a car, and it's one of those like old school high thoughts where you're just like, oh wow, that person is living a full life just like me,
completely separate, and
I don't even know their name, you know. But the thing is, how many stories, even through my boring life, how many stories do I have to tell?
Yeah.
Thousands of hours worth.
Which is why we started the podcast.
Yeah. Like it's an unlimited life experience that I have, and depending on how I think of it, it's a different book to be told. And so every person has that ability. They all have a book within them to tell, and as long as you can actively think about who you are as a person, you can realize that you're a commodity in a way that you bring value to this planet, and I want to know about it because my biggest character trait is interest, is thirst for knowledge. I don't want to be the smartest person, but I want to know a lot of stuff. Like I don't want to be the most cued in on a certain thing, but I want to know about most everything. And so people come on and tell me about it. And thanks for sharing your experience with it. And
well, of course.
Thanks for sharing your experience on your guys' relationship, because I think relationships are probably the most important thing next to the stories that humans can tell.
That's what God is, remember?
Yeah. That podcast was really good. We're not going to top that one for a while. I really know. But
yeah, this one's shit.
No,
yeah, this was ass. Thanks for coming. Dude.
No, I mean for a solo, I was surprised by how well we talked for that long.
We talked real good.
Yeah, but no, I'm really. It seems weird when I think about it this way, but it's like, thanks for letting me use you for information.
For YouTube.
Well, dude, thanks for having me. I would love to come back, dude. Again, I always love talking to you. I mean, we did it at work for hours. Yeah. So I'm excited to come back to work and see your pretty face. Dude, and just talk for fucking hours.
It was so fun. Thank you so much for coming on, both of you. Thanks for
booking this interview.
Yeah.
Thanks, my lovely assistant, aka wife.
You got to cut her 10% off the top, dude.
Yeah, royalty checks.
Are you serious? She gets all the money. I get the 10%. It's like more like in a lounge. She goes, "Here you go, nerd."
Well, sorry about last week. Us not having an episode. The audio got messed up, and we will be rescheduling that episode with Michaela. But we had these two lovelies on today, Kevin and Kaycee. Thank you guys so much for being on. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks again.
Look forward to doing it again in the future. This has been the 4th episode. Bye, guys.
Thanks again for listening to today's episode of the Best Friends Ask Why podcast.
If you like what you heard today, we'd really appreciate it if you could go on whatever service you use to listen or watch the podcast and leave us a review.
5-star reviews are what helps spread the word and build a community around our podcast.
If you have any cool guest ideas, questions, or just want to reach out, hit us up on our social media at BFAY. That's BFAWHY.
One last time, thank you very much, and we look forward to hearing from you.